is Sup Dogs live on a Thursday, November 2nd edition of the show. I'm Stephen Igo here with you live from Sup Dogs. Macy O'Donnell back alongside. He was hosting us last week because I was out sick. So Macy, how did that go? First off, did you handle the hosting, the number one hosting duties? How did it go?
Yeah, it was cool. At first, I was pretty nervous. We rushed through the first segment, me and Greg, but after a while, we got the roll of it. Jocelyn Pringle, women's track and field was out with us last week also, so I think it went pretty well. Had a lot of track. Two foreign women's tennis players, so it was a really good week last week.
That's just how it goes, man. Like when you play for the first time in football, you get a little sped up, and then the longer you're in it, you get more comfortable. So you did a great job, man. I watched some of the show. You guys did a great job. Great show last week. As always, here on Sup Dogs Live, we are highlighting the student athlete life at East Carolina University. We're going to keep our track run going with a couple of track athletes. We're also going to have a lacrosse athlete, and we're also going to have a softball athlete. Mackenzie Mason is here. She will be our first guest later on today's program. But before we get started, Maceo, I want to ask you about football news. I wasn't able to make it to San Antonio for the game against UTSA. 41-27 loss. Pirates come up a little bit short on the scoreboard. We saw some improvements. But first off, how was San Antonio? I heard it's a great city. And how was the Alamo Dome?
Yeah, San Antonio was great. Had the pleasure of going. Me and Greg last week went to see a Spurs game, so that was really cool. Went to overtime, got a big win. But the Alamo Dome was insane. They had about 4 or 5 different screens in there. A lot of fire and lights during their performances pregame. So it was really cool. Wish we could have got the job done, but we didn't. So we have another week this week. We play Tulane at home on Saturday. So hopefully I'm crossing my fingers for that one.
It's always good to go to an American Athletic Conference away venue and see a little bit of an atmosphere. Like, unfortunately, clearly East Carolina's got a great atmosphere, but so many of these teams in these big areas, Maceo, you traveled a lot. They just don't have the home fans, and it felt like at least UTSA is a younger program that does have that fan support, which makes for a more exciting atmosphere.
Yeah, coming from Conference USA, I think they won back-to-back conference championships, so they already have a kind of a great program build. It's not like they're coming into the American kind of with no expectations. They actually have a lot of high expectations, so they already have a really good fan base. The Alamo Dome was big, but they kind of blocked off the top section, so you just kind of had the bottom area. But it was insane. But you are right. Most of those big city schools don't have great fan bases because there's so much else to do in the city. But San Antonio, I give them 5 stars for that.
So y'all saw the Spurs play. Y'all saw the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama. He was dope, man. He was about 7'8", 7'13", but he was really good, man. It was a fun game, fun environment. I haven't been to an NBA game in a minute, so really happy about it. But I got more questions about I saw your Halloween outfit last night or the day before. I was just wondering what that was. I didn't really get a good look at it.
Blues Clues. So okay. Blues Clues, the family. We did Blues Clues. I was Steve, the original Steve from Blues Clues. My son, 2-year-old son, he was blue. And my daughter, 6-month-old daughter, she was magenta. And then my wife dressed up as a mailbox.
Okay.
So
mailbox.
She went all out. I just put on a shirt and did the simple thing. But what about you, man? Do you have a go-to costume this year?
Nah, man.
I
was Easy E last year. So I didn't have anything for this Halloween, but I did eat some Twix and some Skittles though.
There you go. Twix and Skittles are the go-to, and got to get some Reese's in there too, though, man. I'm a big Reese's guy. How about you? You're not a Reese's guy.
Nah, man.
What? We may ask some of our guests about their favorite Halloween candy, and I tell you what, let's get our first break in. We'll come back. We'll have our first student athlete, Mackenzie Mason. She is new to the softball team. She just transferred in. We'll tell you about where she came from, returning back to the home state of North Carolina. We'll talk about that, her journey, what led her to ECU under Shane Winkler on the other side. This is Sup Dogs Live on a Thursday. We will be right back.
Want to know why no one outbeats the Hut? 75-cent boneless wings. While prices go up, ours dip. Ooh-wee! Would you look at that dunk? 75-cent boneless wings from Pizza Hut. That's why no one outbeats at the Hut.
When your Pirates come out to compete, we want to make sure our team is ready, and our field is too. That's why we trust Eastern Turf Maintenance to maintain our fields, and you can too. From fertilization and weed control to aeration, let the team at Eastern Turf Maintenance make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. From the stadium to your backyard, Eastern Turf Maintenance can make your lawn game day beautiful. Stay ahead of the game. Call Eastern Turf Maintenance today for your free estimate.
Being a divorce attorney isn't just a job, it's a calling. At Irons & Irons, we take that responsibility seriously. Our team of dedicated professionals is second to none. Our firm offers a level of skill and personal attention that only we can provide. If you need an experienced divorce attorney who truly cares about you and your family, call me today or visit our website at ironsandirons.com.
I'm an average guy, a lot like you. My job took a toll on my body, but I'm not giving in to the pain, and neither should you. There's a new game when it comes down to relief from agonizing joint pain, and that's QC Kinetics.
Elite athletes have used these amazing natural treatments for years. QC Kinetics, a long-lasting solution for joint pain. No surgery or downtime.
You and me, we got things to do. Go ahead, coach.
Come on, team, let's go! Want to know why no one outbeats the Hut? 75-cent boneless wings. While prices go up, ours dip. Ooh-wee! Would you look at that dunk? 75-cent boneless wings from Pizza Hut. That's why no one outbeats at the Hut.
Welcome back into Sup Dogs Live on this Thursday, November 2nd edition. I'm Stephen Igo, here live from Sup Dogs, downtown Greenville. Macy O'Donnell is to my right, and we've got our first student athlete of the evening. She is Mackenzie Mason from the ECU softball team, and Mackenzie just transferred in from UConn. Mackenzie, you're also our first softball athlete on the show, so congrats on making that debut.
Thank you. Very excited about that.
Well, let's talk about your journey. What led you to East Carolina? So you spent a few years at UConn, and you are a Fayetteville, North Carolina native, so you are returning to your home state. So walk us through what led you to East Carolina, transferring back home a little bit.
Obviously, like being back home is a really big thing. Up at UConn, it's about a 15-hour drive. My mom didn't get to make a lot of games, and family is really big to me. So I really wanted for my last 2 years for my family to be able to come to my games, and entering the portal is something scary. You put your all into committing somewhere and going somewhere. And when you enter, you're entering without knowing if you're going to be picked up by someone. Like, you could not get picked up by anyone. But when I entered the portal, I wanted to come home and I wanted to find somewhere with culture. And, Coach Winkler, Coach Jenna, and Coach Q, they all have a very respected history in the softball community. And when I got into contact with them, I was really excited just to know what they were trying to build here at ECU. And then I got on campus, met all the girls, and just kind of everything fell into place.
I'm a huge fan of Coach Winkler. I've had him on my show a few times, and I think he's going to do a great job continuing, like you said, to build that culture and bring in talent like yourself. So when you talk with Coach Winkler for the first time, how quickly did he kind of sell you on his vision, and did it take you long at all to commit and join the Pirates?
Not long at all. I've followed Coach Winkler for a long time. He was at George Washington and Charleston Southern, and I respected him as a coach and knew kind of the culture that he brought to those programs. And I knew with no doubt that that's what he was going to bring here. So when he talked about what he had going on here, I knew that it was something that I could buy into and trust 100%. And meeting all the girls on the team, they talked about culture too and family, and that was really big for them. So it didn't take long at all. ECU was my first visit out of the portal and my last one.
Yeah, so how's it been? I know you guys do fall ball, so I think that season might have just ended recently. I'm not sure, but just kind of tell us how that went. You know, you're the new person on the team, you're still learning, how the coaches are, and not a recruiting setting, but as a coach trying to get you better setting and your players and everything competing against each other. So just kind of tell us how the fall ball season went.
Yeah, coming in the beginning, it was a little nerve-wracking, but, you look to your left and your right, and everyone's competing. Nobody has that starting spot. Nobody has any type of leeway or anything like that. It's a new season for everyone. So I think the competitive culture and energy that we bring, it was really easy to just comfortably like step in and do what you got to do.
So what's your like kind of play style? I think you said you play third base, utility. So I think that means you kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
So kind of what's your favorite position or what's kind of your style out there?
Defensively, my favorite position would have to be infield, anywhere in the infield. I like getting the ball in my hands. I like diving. I can't say that I would like diving in the outfield. I will, but I like getting dirty. I like being gritty. I love, might be weird, but I love being on the bases. I love stealing bases, causing chaos, just things like that.
Mackenzie Mason is with us, softball player for ECU and listed as a senior, but you do have the extra year of eligibility. You were telling us you had a medical hardship. So walk us through your time at UConn. First off, what led you to UConn coming out of Fayetteville, and then kind of detail your time with the Huskies there.
Coming out of UConn or coming into UConn, the head coach previously coached at Duke, so I followed her when she was at Duke, and then when she got the job at UConn, she had reached out to me, and I went up there, and it was a big leap, but I come from a military family, so I wasn't really afraid of moving far away and having a big change. But things just work out where sometimes you just want to come home, and it was nice to finally have something in life that like you want to come home to.
So military family, did you move around a lot as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Where all did you live?
I was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and then about 2008 we moved to South Korea, and then after that we moved to Hawaii for a little bit, Missouri, and then North Carolina.
Wow, South Korea, Hawaii. So what were your experiences like there? How much do you remember about those places?
South Korea has to be my favorite place I lived. It was really safe, really clean. Lived on a army base there, so everything was really nice there. I would say Hawaii was a really nice place to visit, but live, I don't know if I'd do it again. I don't know if I'd live there again.
So where does Greenville and ECU rank into all that? I know you're kind of still new here and only, I guess, a 2.5 hour drive home to Fayetteville, but what have you liked so far about being in Greenville and kind of getting that, college environment?
Yeah, I just honestly I like the college environment. For 3 years up at UConn, we were an agriculture school, so the only thing close to campus was a Price Chopper, and if you wanted a Walmart, if you wanted a restaurant, you had to go about 45 minutes down the road. So coming here and everything being so close was a pretty big shock to me. So I've been enjoying that.
So I know you're still kind of an older kind of vet on the team, even though you're new. So have you found yourself in opportunities kind of being able to teach or show the ropes to like the younger players, even though you're new to this team? This isn't your first rodeo being a collegiate athlete at this level. So have you ever had experiences since you've been here kind of showing the young players a little bit of the ropes?
Yeah, I feel like with the freshmen, I took an opportunity just to let them know that like I've been in a freshman spot before, but like this is my second chance. Like I'm new on this team as well. And like just giving them some tips on like the do's and don'ts of your freshman year and like how to really take advantage of like being somewhere for the first time.
Mackenzie Mason with us from ECU softball. So can you still speak some Korean, or how are how's your languages?
I can speak a few words.
You don't know how to say "Go Pirates" in Korean, do you?
No, unfortunately,
You
I
have to
don't.
look it up. Okay, but that's fair. It's been a while. It's been a while. So awesome experience there. I'm sure. When you're not on the diamond, when you're not playing softball, what do you like to do to pass the time in your free time?
Honestly, hang out with the team, like I'm still new here, so getting to know the team is kind of one of my priorities right now. Which this team is really good with always wanting to hang out. I feel like we're never tired of each other. There's always something new going on that we do together. Little plug, we come to Sup Dogs a lot. So that's one of our favorite things to do. But other than that, we've got one of our teammates has a barn in her backyard, so we like to hang out there a lot. So it's cool.
I was going to say, I'm sure you spend a lot of time with Sup Dogs. Have you found any other places you really like around town, or is it still like I don't know, you're trying to find maybe another spot as well.
Yeah, still trying to find some spots. My favorite food is hot dogs. So
Okay.
I do lean on this place, but if anyone has some good places around here.
Yeah. I know you said your team is pretty close and you guys do a lot of things together. So have you been able to catch your first ECU game, like football?
Yeah,
And tell us how that experience was.
it was really fun. The Boneyard is crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a crazy environment. But other than that, let's see. I went to a volleyball game. Environment there was crazy too. It's cool to see that like every sport is celebrated here and everyone wants to see everyone win.
Yeah. So what about I know you were at UConn last year and they won the national championship in basketball. And we actually had our former point guard starting for them, Tristan Noon. So did you get to go watch them play? And I don't know how it's going into, March Madness.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a crazy environment. I tried to stay in personally because it wasn't the safest place to be during March Madness when UConn gets up there.
Yeah.
But it was crazy.
So obviously some time until the season opens, I believe in February, but for you individually and as a team, what are kind of your goals right now? Are you really focused on improving yourself? And then as a team, what do y'all really want to do culturally to, give yourself the best chance to win this season?
Yeah, I think we right now are just focused on us. We can't get outside of ourselves. Like we have a lot to prove. We're the underdog in the American right now. So just trying to get 1% better every day, pushing each other, focusing on the little things and trusting the process of everything.
I meant to ask you earlier too, what do you think of the stadium you guys get the chance to play at? I mean, great facility. And, I don't know what the UConn softball facility is like, but just coming to ECU, how do you, think it compares to maybe some of the other places you've played?
It's really nice. The upkeep is nice. You can tell that there's a lot of care that goes into everything going on here. Like whether it's the athletes as people, the places we play, our facilities, how we're treated, like everything's top notch here.
She is Mackenzie Mason. Mackenzie, we appreciate the time and good to meet you. Best of luck this season with the Pirates. We'll be rooting you on and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Go Pirates.
She is Mackenzie Mason. Again, softball season will start in the spring and looking forward to having more softball student athletes. You represented the team well. First student athlete on the Sup show. You did well, so now your teammates got a lot to live up to. All right, on the other side, we will switch gears. We'll talk track. We got Liz Taylor standing by. She will join us here on Sup Dogs Live. We got some of her teammates as well set to join us on the show today. This is Thursday, November 2nd. We'll be right back.
Greenville Nissan is electrifying ECU football. Shop your home field favorites for a great selection of all new electric vehicles, like the all-electric 2023 Nissan Aria, PD the Pirate approved, and perfect for an ECU game day. Find yours today at your home team Nissan dealer. And get to the game in a new Nissan Aria. Greenville Nissan is electrifying ECU football.
Check it out.
Introducing the new and improved taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Now more delicious. Zero never tasted so good. Try it now.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
All these other banks are changing names right and left. They don't care like they used to care a long time ago.
Jim Clement, president of Town Insurance, talks about townspeople here in Greenville.
With Town Insurance and now Town Bank, the folks that work for us have that attitude where if somebody walks in, I'm here to help them. And I think that's the team that Town Bank's put together here. They have that attitude. Honesty, it's sincerity, it's hard work, it's genuineness that these people have that are here.
Visit your local Optimum store and power your home with 99.9% reliable internet. And stay connected at home and on the go with Optimum Mobile and save even more with an eligible trade-in. Plus, unlock exclusive Optimum Complete savings up to $15 a month on internet when you add mobile. Get the complete connectivity you deserve. Visit Optimum.com/stores to find the nearest location. Get closer, go farther with Optimum.
every bite. Better with Pepsi.
Welcome back to Sup Dogs Live on this Thursday, November 2nd. I'm Stephen Igo. Macy O'Donnell is here as well, former ECU football player and now a sideline reporter and host of Sup Dogs Live, along with yours truly. We got our second student athlete, Liz Taylor. She is a transfer from Penn State, now in her second year at East Carolina. Liz, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So, all right, take us through, you guys. You were telling me you just wrapped up practice.
Mm-hmm.
What is practice like this time of year, especially when it starts to get cooler? Is it better to practice in the cool or tougher to practice in the cool?
Honestly, it's a little bit harder to practice during this time of the year just because each month you're doing like a different training cycle. So right now we're in our third training cycle since it's November. It's getting like a little bit cooler. So it's a little bit harder to breathe when you're running.
Right.
Yeah.
And you are a jumper with the track and field team. So take us through what competitions you compete in and what do you feel like you do well? What are you trying to improve on in that field?
So before I was a jumper, I did multis. So I was already familiar with jumps in general. But now that jumping is now like my primary like event to do, I've been really focusing on like trying to find myself within both events. I technically think of jumping being a little bit more difficult than just strictly sprinting because you're sprinting and you're jumping at the exact same time. So along with the mental aspect of just trying to find myself in like perfecting technique and things like that, I've also just been trying to get faster, get more technically sound, and really feel my body while I'm like competing.
Yeah. So what makes a jumper good? Yeah, I ran track in high school. I did a little bit of jumping, but it's not, just running and then jumping like you said. So
Yeah.
kind of how do you become a good long jumper or triple jumper?
Honestly, anybody would tell you it's just like practice, practice, practice. But also, like I just stated before, I think with jumping is more so of a mental thing, because when you're in competition, there's so many things that could go wrong with jumps. So normally our coach would tell us first jump, go out hard, give it all you got, everything like the whole nine. But if that doesn't go the specific way that you want it to go, then you have to be mentally aware to, you have 5 more jumps. You have to be able to regroup quick and figure out technically what you need to do to correct in order to, PR.
Right. So are you one of those jumpers that, go ahead and go hard the first time and jump and get the top score and then don't jump anymore the rest of the day?
Honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm a little up and down. And I'm kind of like known for doing that. Like Coach V and like Coach Kraft, and shout out to them. They will always like joke me. They're like, Liz, like one day, you pop out, you have like a crazy jump, and then the next day you start off slow. Sometimes it just goes for like how my body is, but mentally, like what a track meet would look like for me, and it's kind of crazy I'm not doing this. I will eat like a bunch of candy before I compete, and I will listen to like a bunch of music and things like that to like get myself like super pumped up. So conference, like when the meet is being streamed, you'll probably like see me like over there like dancing and like jumping up and down and things like that because that's like my way to focus. So like normally that would the times that I'm, like, staying on track with that's like my niche, like, something that I continuously do, that will normally get me, in my head, that big jump that I want the first time if I'm, like, just relaxed.
What's your go-to candy in that situation? Do you have a specific type or is it like you just cram
She
as
just wants
much
sugar.
candy as you want?
Honestly, this is, like, really funny. It's Juicy Drop Pops and Sour Patch Kids.
It's a lot of sugar, so
I
I can
know.
understand
It's
it.
just one just one Juicy Drop Pop
Okay.
and a handful of Sour Patch.
But hey, if it works for you, it works for you, right? You
Yeah.
gotta figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
All right, so you started at Penn State.
Mhm.
Take us through what led you down to East Carolina after starting at Penn State.
So I was born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's about an hour out from State College. So I was really familiar with the area. I have a lot of family that's around there. So when I graduated high school, they were already really pushing for me to go there because my whole family was familiar with the area. I had a couple friends that I had knew that were a little bit older than me that had went there for football. Some of them ended up transferring, some of them ended up staying. And I felt like when I did transfer to the school, I started off having a good relationship with my coach. Like I said, I was doing multis, but I felt like at a point in time during the fall that I was there, I had like a transition to where I wasn't necessarily everything wasn't in alignment. So when I say everything wasn't in alignment as far as training and school at the same time, and I feel like if your academics aren't like up to par, then you're going to carry that to practice and things like that. And I also felt like there was a good culture there. I just felt like a lot of us were there for like the wrong reasons. And I like to be around people that will help motivate me, to want to be at practice and things like that. Aside from that, I just decided like for my mental aspect, it was best for me to just leave the program. And I like loved everybody that was there. So it was like a really hard decision for me. But so I entered the transfer portal, I want to say in January. And then I met Coach V, who is the jumps coach here. I met her in August, which was like totally like out of nowhere because I was gonna go to Clemson before I like even met Coach V. So I met her, and after like just one phone call conversation, like I was just sold on it because I really felt like I could relate to her as a person and as a coach. And I like put my eggs all in one basket. Like I really just put my trust into her. And then once I came here, I met Coach Kraft. I already knew previous athletes from Virginia that ran here and a couple coaches as well. So after that, meeting the coaching staff, I felt a better connection with them and like camaraderie.
Yeah, definitely. I know you. How many years were you at Penn State?
I was only there for a year.
A year. So did
Mhm.
you ever get to go to any whiteout games there for
Yes.
football? Were they crazy?
Yes. Super crazy.
Yeah. So what about here? I don't know if you've been here. I know it's probably a lot different to compare, but how have you like being here and experiencing this atmosphere we have here at ECU?
Honestly, as far as atmosphere, there in my eyes, it's not that big of a difference besides like the stadium. You know what I mean? Like Penn State has like one of the top 10 biggest stadiums in collegiate football, but I mean, fan base wise and things like that, like I the culture is still the same in my eyes, it's just more students that go to Penn State. We all, just love football and like tailgating
Football
the
schools,
fans. Yeah, it's not really that big of a difference to me. I felt like I fit like right in.
Yeah. So I think I've asked pretty much every cross country athlete we've had or track and field athlete we had, what is it like? What is the dynamic like having a team where it's males and females on the same team? Because I know it seems like, a lot of the track and field athletes are usually really close.
Yeah.
So just kind of tell us a little bit about that dynamic. I know you've been a part of it, I'm sure your whole life.
Mhm.
So it's nothing new, but can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Honestly, with my experience, I've been running track for I want to say about like going on 14 years now of my entire life. I've never really, and this is the only sport that I feel like I can like vouch for with this in my eyes, just because it's my experience. I've never really felt like a sort of diversion, between like male and female, specifically because like even though with track you're focusing on individual events, you're still a team. And when like team titles and things like that, like conference championships, national titles, things like that, when that starts coming into play, you have to have team camaraderie. So everybody has to be on the same like mental. Everybody wants to win, like wants to win. We want to pack out events, things like that. So yeah, there's no ratio.
Liz Taylor is with us, jumper on the track and field program. And Liz, you mentioned it. You're going into your second year at East Carolina and getting ready for that season. So, how much more comfortable, confident are you, compared to, I guess, this time last year when you were kind of really preparing for the first time?
Honestly, now I'm so much more confident, not even just with myself, but like as a person, but with my training as well. Um, I've worked really hard to get to where I'm at right now. And the results that I'm seeing at practice, as well as my other teammates, I feel like we're destined to do something crazy this year and not even just jumps, like in general. We have a whole new we have a whole new set of athletes that are coming in, not just freshmen, transfers, things like that, and everybody mingles together, and that's what I love about this program. everybody fits right in. We have good team camaraderie, and that wins championships.
So when you're away from the track and obviously the field, what do you like to do to pass the time? Do you have any hobbies?
So I draw, but aside from that, I've been really trying to get into finding myself as a person outside of being an athlete. I feel like for a long time I was just wrapped up in just making track my personality because that's like all I did. So I read a lot as well, like motivational books and things like that. Just because I feel like outside of athletics, it'll help me develop more as a young woman. Um, and like, it sounds weird, but I'm like in nature sometimes, like walking through the woods and whatnot.
So I know you talk about working on your, mental side, on and off the track. But what about on the field? What are some things that a jumper has to work on specifically to be good at their sport? I don't know if that's, technique or working on certain things in the weight room. Just what is that like?
Honestly, to tie in all of that, it's just simply not overthinking. I feel like all athletes and not just jumpers do that in general. You're gonna have bad practices. That's what comes with it. You're gonna have great practices. So at the end of the day, you just have to take it with a grain of salt and know that you're learning from the good and the bad at the same time, sometimes the bad more than the good. But what I recently started doing was keeping a practice journal. So basically what I'll do is I'll jot down like if I had a bad day, what it was that I needed to work on. And after a certain time, I kind of like shut my brain off. Like I'm not thinking about it at night and like trying to just, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this because with track, when you start saying you have to do something, it's not going to get done because you feeling like you have to force yourself to do it. Track is something where you have to let things come natural because your training is going to speak for itself.
So you say you're a drawer or an artist.
Yeah.
What do you like to draw?
So like a lot of like I've been trying to get into anime. I'm not really that familiar with it. My brother has been like telling me to watch One Piece for the longest time, and I just started. I'm on the first season. So other than that, I was drawing like for fun, like SpongeBob characters, like Nickelodeon, things like that. Just because like I kind of miss like the old like Disney, Nickelodeon.
Draw Squidward yet?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, you talk about taking your mind off track. Like,
Yeah.
sure, when you draw, like you kind of go blank. That probably helps.
Yeah,
you a lot.
it does. It does.
All right, Liz Taylor, it's been great to get to know you. You got a great head on your shoulders. You
Thank
seem
you.
very intelligent. A lot of fun to talk to. So we really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Best of luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all for having me.
All right, she's Liz Taylor. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with our next student athlete. This is Sup Dogs Live on a Thursday.
If you have an appetite for saving money, get the new Rofo Rewards app from Royal Farms. Use the Rofo Rewards app to make purchases or place mobile orders for pickup or delivery and earn royalty points redeemable for free stuff. Download the new Rofo app at the Apple App Store or Google Play. And right now, new Rofo Rewards members will get a free any-size coffee for signing up. Get the new Rofo Rewards app today. It's a very appealing app to have. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
All these other banks are changing names right and left. They don't care like they used to care a long time ago.
Jim Clement, president of Town Insurance, talks about townspeople here in Greenville.
With Town Insurance and now Town Bank, the folks that work for us have that attitude where if somebody walks in, I'm here to help them. And I think that's the team that Town Bank's put together here. They have that attitude. Honesty, it's sincerity, it's hard work, it's genuineness that these people have that are here.
Welcome back into Sup Dogs Live on this Thursday. Stephen Igo here, Macy O'Donnell as well, and Malicia Muzan is joining us now from track and field. She is a sprinter. She's just fresh off the practice field. I heard it was a long practice, but how'd it go?
So I personally feel like it was a little rough, but It was a sprint day. Those are my favorite. It's more where you just focus on technique. And because it's the beginning of the season, I think after not running for so long, it's kind of iffy, but I'm getting back in the hang of it and the swing of things and hoping for some crazy times this year.
So when you go, obviously, I mean, you're a sprinter, so you got to be ready to roll. What's it like going from, I guess, ramping down all the way to ramping up? Like, is there a pretty long process there trying to get your body back? Because you don't want to go out there and pull a hamstring when you're sprinting for the first time.
So like I tell everybody, track itself is a year-round kind of sport. So you never really get like off. So personally for me, I took a week, maybe two off. But other than that, it's training. Of course, you're not running fast every single day. There's long periods, and right now, it's a lot of volume. Fall season is a lot of volume, which is like harder on your body. So I think that's the most part for me is doing a lot of volume is kinda how I get ready for the season.
Yeah, I got to watch you guys a couple times last year and talking to Coach Cheek, and you guys are just out there running and stuff. But just kind of tell us what it's like to, be a Division One sprinter and what you have to work on to do that. I know it's a lot of form. You're not just running around wide out there. So kind of tell us how you become a good collegiate runner, sprinter.
So, personally, it's not about practice. Practice is obviously important. You have to attend practice, but it's not about what you do at practice, about what you do off the scene, behind the scene, the rehab, the sleep, the water, the extra feet mobility, hip mobility. Like it's that kind of stuff that makes you really like great.
So can you tell, like, if you might not have been eating the way you should have or drinking enough water and stuff? Can you definitely tell when you're out there competing?
Yeah, I can definitely attest to this because last week we had a time trial and I was like, dang, I'm running these terrible slow times that I've never ran before. Like, what's going on? And I just had to think back on like the whole week. The whole week I was stressed out. I wasn't hydrating because I'm in grad school. I was struggling a little bit. My sleep schedule was off. Like, so my body was like, well, hey, what are you doing? Like, you're not doing what you usually do. And so yeah, you definitely can tell when your body is just like not feeling it.
So how many cheat days do you allow yourself with Sup Dogs?
So Sup Dogs is definitely a weekend kind of thing. Saturdays for sure is where Sup Dogs is in my schedule. I definitely live up the street, so I come to Sup Dogs on Saturdays.
You gonna come this Saturday for the Tulane game?
Yeah, definitely after the Tulane game, we're gonna be right here at Sup Dogs celebrating.
There you go. Pirates gonna get a win over a ranked opponent. All right, so you're going into your 5th year of running track, correct? So what's it like getting that COVID year? I guess everybody had to go through. Unfortunate at the time, but you get an extra year. Maybe a blessing in the sky. So what's kind of I don't know, the bittersweet feeling there of having to deal with that, but now getting that extra year on the back end?
So it's definitely a blessing because this year is the Olympic year. So I am training to go all the way from now until the Olympics. So I have to keep that in mind when it comes to my body. But this year we're having COVID. It's like I wouldn't have to train on my own. Like I have that extra. I have a facility to train at and trainers or whatever without having to come out of pocket to do that on my own.
So I know we talked about kind of how you felt in the bad days, but I see you have a couple program records for the 100-meter. So before those, competitions, did you know you were going to run fast that day? Because I always feel like some days I feel faster than the others, and but you broke the record twice, I guess. So did you know you were going to run fast those days?
So I I always think I'm gonna run fast. Like I always go out there with that confidence, like, yeah, this is the day. It's just really how fast am I gonna run? So I'm a pretty like self-motivated person where I'm going to the track meet like, yeah, today. Like I say that kind of every day, like, yeah, today. But basically, yeah, I knew I was gonna make some shape. I always step up to the plate when I have to.
And you did that at the AAC championship. So that was a pretty big stage. You shattered your own program record, 11.21 seconds in the 100-meter. So do you run the 200 as well? And, do you enjoy one more than the other? Maybe the 100 since you broke the record, or what's your feelings there?
So not to toot my own horn, I have a 60 record too. The 60 is really my bread, but well, I always say the 100 is my bread and butter, but like the 60 is my baby. Like it's like short, quick, it's straight to the point. You in and you out kind of thing. For outdoor, the 100 for sure. Over the 2, and it's just because I don't run the 400 as much as I can, so I'm not as strong in the 2 as other people. So because I run the 200 so well, it makes my 100 better.
So indoor season coming up in January, then you guys have outdoor. Do you have a preference? Do you enjoy indoor season or outdoor? Or is it just kind of you just roll with whatever?
Personally, I love competing. Like it don't matter what we run, and we can run a 5K. I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it, but I love competing. So, it doesn't matter indoor, outdoor. I'm good.
So what kind of would you tell like a young, maybe high school athlete who's trying to be a collegiate, runner? What would you tell them? Because, I kind of have a close family member here that's on the track team now and is a younger sprinter. So what are some things you would tell someone like her?
Stick to the program. Like, don't overthink it. I personally overthink sometimes, and it always ends up making me like doubt my progress. But instead of looking at the progress, try to just have fun. Like track is a mental thing. And instead of always making it a competition, like I just said, like try to have fun with it because at the end of the day, like you're a human, everybody makes mistakes, everybody goes through life. So just go out there, like have fun and train hard.
It's going into year 5 at ECU, like we talked about. So you've been around the block a few times here. Been to Sup Dogs a lot, I'm sure. Do you have any other favorite spots around town or go-to places?
Chipotle, Cava. I like Anita's, like the Mexican restaurant. I like to eat, so I like smash waffles. Um,
So you got a few places.
yeah.
When you do get to, we talked to Liz earlier. She said she eats candy to get juiced up and warmed up. Do you partake in that philosophy as well? What do you do to get yourself ready?
I sleep. Liz is a energy bug. Like she likes energy drinks and candy, and me personally, I just be like, you need to drink some water, and she don't listen. Liz is my roommate, so I have to deal with her and her candy all the time. But no, I don't eat candy. I eat healthy and I sleep.
So when you were coming to ECU, did you kind of expect? I know you had said you had a lot of confidence. You just kind of are always ready to go. But did you kind of expect everything that has happened up to this point to happen?
Truthfully, I expected better. So, having a coach like Coach Cheek that has the confidence that he has in me, personally, I expected myself to go out there and break a national record, As a freshman, the abilities that I had and have, I had a lot of talent that a lot of people saw in me that so I felt like I should have ran faster, but due to God having other plans, I got injured practically every year. So basically this year I'm hoping to run the times that I've been expecting myself to run.
So Coach Cheek, he's got the song "Purple and Gold." I don't know. Do y'all give him a hard time for that, or is like you pick on him at all? Or does he remind y'all that he wrote this song?
Yeah, so sometimes he does play his music outside at practice and we be like, what is this? But we always support Coach Cheek because, he supports us. And yeah, that purple and gold song does go stupid. Y'all should play it sometimes.
It definitely goes hard, man. All right, Coach Kraft. I mean, if I see this guy, he's going to have like a 20-minute conversation with me. So what's it like being around him for 5 years? Does he still talk your ear off?
Oh, does he? That's I love all of our coaches to be honest, like shout out to them, but Coach Crab in particular, like he is really he's really old school, but he's a guy that's gonna keep you laughing. He's real goofy and we love him. He's like he keeps the track team feeling like a family. Like he's not he can be strict, he like his rules, but at the end of the day, like he's gonna love you like you're one of his children.
Yeah. So how's that competition like? Because I'm guessing only a certain amount of you guys can run at each meet, or I guess it might change or it's fluid. So kind of tell us how that goes. I know you usually stay to the top of the list, but kind of how does that go for some of the other players?
I like to encourage all my teammates to just do what they can do, and work on what they can work on. I try not to be like that one person like, "Oh, well, I'm this and I'm that." Like, I'm not like that. I'm very humble, and I expect my teammates to lift everybody up. Though we do compete, like, we make sure everybody feels, like, welcome and feels like a family. Like, everybody has to work on what they gotta work on, but instead of putting somebody down, we lift everybody up.
Season coming up in January. Have you looked ahead at the schedule, and are you looking forward to any events in general, or is it more just bringing on the next one?
I'm looking forward to that Tiger Paw for sure. I need to get my head right, competing with the best of the best. And then of course, nationals.
Do you know the date for the Tiger Ball? Or is it just you just know it's coming?
It's coming. I don't know the exact date, but I know it's coming.
What's most important for you, lastly, going into this, the final stages of winter, going through December, once you guys get there, going to Christmas, to really set yourself up for, the success you want to have? Because you seems like you've got big goals going into your final year. So what's most important to you for that success to happen?
Just to keep God first. Without God, I'm nothing. So in everything I do, I need to give praise and honor to God. I'm not here without God. Yeah.
So I got one more question. Who's faster, you or Lee?
So, to clarify to the people listening, Malik is my boyfriend, and I like to say I'm faster. His form is terrible. We've never raced, but when it comes to his form, he just doesn't.
He's wide.
Yeah, exactly, and he butt kicks very often. So I like to say I'm faster than him, but we're gonna race. Stay tuned.
All right.
So I got to know Malik pretty good when he played football. He was pretty confident. I would say he was probably one of the more confident players on the field. Are you that confident going into a track meet?
I can't be anything else but that.
Okay. So you match his confident level.
For sure. He matched my fly matches.
There you go. All right, Malicia Muzan, we appreciate the time today on the show. It was great to get to know you. Great to learn a little bit about you. Best of luck your upcoming season. Hopefully you meet all your goals, and we're really pulling for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, we will be right back on Sup Dogs Live. We may have another student athlete, or we may be wrapping up. We'll decide on the other side. This is Sup Dogs Live on a Thursday. We'll be right back.
Check it out. Introducing the new and improved taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Now more delicious. Zero never tasted so good. Try it now.
Hey folks, Blake and Brad here again from Carolina Windows and Doors. Did you know that metal roofing is one of the most energy efficient and long-lasting investments that you can make for your home? If you or someone you know has a roof that's taken a few hits over the years, maybe it's time you give us a call.
Our state-of-the-art metal roofs come with a world-renowned Kynar resin-based coating. This allows for vibrant, rich colors that won't fade over time like the competition. And this Kynar coating can achieve solar reflectance of over 70%, keeping you cool in the summer.
We have installation crew members that have been with Carolina Windows and Doors for over 30 years. We believe this plays a vital role in delivering the most positive customer satisfaction possible, as well as the highest quality of materials.
If you're looking for a home investment that's durable and environmentally friendly, look no further than Carolina Windows and Doors. Call us today at 1-800-545-7172. That's 1-800-545-7172 and invest in your home's future.
It's bow time.
We gonna split this solo?
No. Come on. Split the drive?
No chance.
What are you wearing? Split these?
I thought you'd never ask.
Introducing Bo's Barbecue Chicken Sandwich and Bo's Carolina Gold Chicken Sandwich. Boldly seasoned hand-breaded chicken topped with pickles, slaw, and your choice of 2 sauces. So good, you'll want to get both and split them with a friend. It's bow time.
Visit your local Optimum store and power your home with 99.9% reliable internet. And stay connected at home and on the go with Optimum Mobile, and save even more with an eligible trade-in. Plus, unlock exclusive Optimum Complete savings up to $15 a month on internet when you add mobile. Get the complete connectivity you deserve. Visit Optimum.com/stores to find the nearest location. Get closer, go farther with Optimum.
Every bite better with Pepsi.
Greenville Nissan is electrifying ECU football. Shop your home field favorites for a great selection of all new electric vehicles, like the all-electric 2023 Nissan Aria, PD the Pirate approved, and perfect for an ECU game day. Find yours today at your home team Nissan dealer. And get to the game in a new Nissan Aria. Greenville Nissan is electrifying ECU football.
All right, welcome back into Sup Dogs Live on this Thursday, November 2nd. Appreciate all of our student athletes today. It's been a fun show. Macy O'Donnell is here, and we have Julia Hatcher from PlayFi, ECU Sports Properties. She's making her on-camera debut here on Sup Dogs Live. So the pressure's turned up, Julia. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm really happy to be on today.
So you played volleyball at Michigan State.
Yes.
How often were you in front of the camera compared to this? Like, have you gone through this before?
I have, but it has definitely been a little while since.
Okay. So are you nervous right now?
Right now, a little bit.
So tell us about your role at PlayFly, working under the fine gentleman Clay Walker and helping out with ECU Sports Properties.
Yeah, so I'm in sales with Playfly at ECU Sports Properties. I work with Cassidy and Greg, who've been on the show as well. And so far, so great. I'm about 2 months in.
So now the pressure turns. We got to get Emily on. We've had Philip on as well. We got to get Clay on. He's the ringleader. I don't really know why he's avoiding the camera. Macy, what do you think? We got to get Clay on in the coming week. We're about to take a break through after the November 16th show, so we got to get Clay on before then.
Yeah, we definitely do. And I do have a question for Julia, because I feel like we're kind of in the same boat. But did you always want to kind of do something with sports after you were done being an athlete?
For sure. I looked a little bit at jobs outside of sports, and I don't think I could ever get away fully.
Yeah.
So everything happens for a reason, and I'm happy to still be in it.
Sure. Volleyball player. So how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
6'2". What position did you play? And I guess you were born to play volleyball with your height?
I guess I didn't start playing until high school, though.
Okay.
But I was a middle blocker. And yeah.
Do you miss it at all? Do you miss the competition?
I do. I don't miss all the pain from jumping, all the impact on the knees, but I do miss playing and having built-in friends with the team.
So ECU volleyball having a great season. Have you had a chance to get out there and kind of watch them, support them? What do you think?
I have. They're doing great. I'm actually going Friday. I have a former Michigan State teammate that plays at SMU.
Okay.
So I'll be there this weekend, and I think it'll be a good matchup.
What are your early thoughts on just East Carolina in general? You said you've been here 2 months, and you were at a very, very much a college-oriented town in the Michigan State. But what do you think about Greenville, East Carolina?
Yeah, Greenville's awesome. I grew up similar to a college town. I grew up right outside of Lexington, Kentucky. So I kind of been around it, but Greenville's awesome, super fun school. And I'm happy to be here.
So I know you've only been here for a few months, but just kind of tell us how it was, because Michigan State is a pretty big school. Most of their sports are usually pretty good. Basketball has a great program, volleyball, football. So just kind of tell us how that was being at a school where pretty much everything was good. I know ECU were kind of on the rise here this year.
Yeah, Michigan State was so fun. Football, it was fun when I was there. Basketball is obviously king at Michigan State.
Right.
So we'd go to games all the time. It was really fun being an athlete in that atmosphere because we were friends with all the other athletes. But yeah, super fun.
I gotta say, Spartans probably one of my favorite mascots, along with Pirates. Can you break the tie? What's cooler, a Spartan or a Pirate, or is it? You can't really answer in their position.
I'm really biased, so I guess I can't say my position.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. I'm a big fan of both. I've always liked the Michigan State, just everything they're about with the Spartans, and I just think it's a cool mascot, a lot like Pirates. So, what have you thought of the show thus far? I mean, you were a student athlete, like we said, at Michigan State, getting to know some of these sports too that maybe don't get as much limelight as, football, which we always talk about here in Greenville, but some of the other sports as well.
No, it's super cool. We didn't have anything like this. Volleyball, fortunately, got more recognition at Michigan State as a women's sport or as a women's sport. But I really think that what we're doing here is super cool, where we can highlight, like you said, the sports that maybe don't get as much recognition.
All right, Julia. Well, you did well in your debut. You didn't misspeak or anything, so good job.
Thanks.
Now Clay Walker will be up next in the coming weeks, and he cannot avoid it. So he is getting on the show next week. This has been Sup Dogs Live. Maceo, great job as always, man.
Appreciate it. I'm just happy to be here. We only got 2 more episodes left on the 9th and the 16th, so hopefully have some really good guests these next few weeks, and we end it off in a bang before Christmas gets here.
No doubt. Continue to come out every Thursday night, Sup Dogs, from 5 to 6 p.m. Again, we'll be back Thursday, November 9th and the 16th, and then take a break till January. But appreciate all our student athletes today, Julia, everybody involved with ECU Sports Properties as well. We'll talk to you next Thursday at 5